you guys tell me when you're ready? Chad? Richard?
Just a second, let me just ensure that we're on time. Hey, do you want to skip this? Do you want to skip this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Let's close up here.
Okay, good morning to members of the media. Good morning to our listeners out there. We know that we have some people live on the internet and other areas. We invited you here to speak about our second round of launchings for the Dominica Labour Party. As you know, we've launched a number of candidates, and there are just about 5 more to be launched. As we move along the campaign. The launch on Sunday is a much anticipated one, that of Mr. Gregory Revere, known as Caressa. And what we're seeing in Marigot is really encouraging to the Dominica Labour Party. And we are looking forward to a very grand event where we hope that we can speak directly to the people of Marigot to encourage them to support our candidate, Mr. Gregory Revere, who we believe is a solid candidate and one who can have a major turnover in the seat, major offset in the seat there in Marigot. And so we're very confident moving into Marigot. We are mobilized our supporters from across the country to get down to Marigot at the Marigot Fisheries Complex. And while we have, had interest in the Marigot seat before, at every election we have had major interest in the Marigot seat. But this time around we believe that we have maybe one of our better chances to create history in the Marigot seat. The Dominica Labour Party has not held that seat in a long time, and we're looking forward to add that to the number of winning candidates that we anticipate across the country. And so we wanted again to encourage all our supporters to come to Marigot in support of Brother Gregory Revere, and to also encourage the people of Marigot to understand the policies of the Dominica Labour Party and why they should support the Dominica Labour Party. So with these few words, I just want to introduce Brother Ian Douglas, our candidate for the Portsmouth constituency. We'll just leave it at that for the time being. We know that he's a Minister of Trade, but today it's politics. And so therefore, today, Brother Ian is a candidate. Myself, I'm also a candidate. And so we're talking candidate to candidate. All right? So, yeah. Morning, Ian.
Thank you very much, Brother Ed Regis, who is, in fact, like he just said, the candidate for the Dominica Labour Party in the Grand Bay constituency. But more importantly, as far as I'm concerned, he's the General Secretary of the Dominica Labour Party. And we are moving into Marigot in full force. And I mean, the nation should know by now, it's clear to everyone that when the Labour Party moves, we move with mass mobilization. And it will be no different on Sunday, because we're very excited about the launching of Gregory Caressa Revere. We think that we have an excellent candidate in Gregory Caressa Revere. I mean, he is a household name, Caressa. I mean, everybody knows about Caressa, not only because of his Calypso fame, but also his work among the youth of the country of Dominica. And all of the Marigot people, notwithstanding whatever side of the political spectrum you sit on or you stand on, everyone will admit that Caressa is an excellent candidate. He has been with his people. It's been, I mean, from all reports, I mean, he's been at it since the Hurricane Maria. He's been there helping. He's been, you know, really integrated into the Marigot community. And we're very happy that that he came to us, really. We didn't even have to go and look for him. He stepped up to the plate and decided that he wanted to serve his people. And that's the unique attribute of the Dominica Labour Party, that we all come forward to serve. We don't have to be incentivized, or we don't have to be cajoled or encouraged. We want to serve our people. We've been involved in service all our lives. I mean, Ed, I've known Ed way back since the National Youth Council days, and then has always been in the trenches in Grand Bay, serving all over Dominica. I myself, I mean, and our leader, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, always in service. I mean, you know, the campaign manager, although he's not a candidate this time around, Dr. Henderson, always in service, grew up in the Scout movement. I mean, I can go from one candidate to the next, and that is the exciting aspect of this campaign, that even the new candidates coming on board right now, they come on board with a track record of service. Dr. McIntyre, Ed Regis, Teacher Bonnie, Dr. King in St. Joseph, I mean, Shakira Hippolyte in Roseau South, Mrs. Skerrit in Roseau Central. All of the candidates come with a record of service to their fellow men and to their communities. And that is why we are very happy that Caressa Gregory Revere has agreed to be part of the slate of candidates that we are offering to Dominica for the 2020 elections. We're very excited about it, and we really believe that we are going to win the Marigot seat. We honestly believe that, because if you look at the maths, if you do the maths, we believe that the margin of victory can certainly be eclipsed and overcome, and we are going all out to ensure that Caressa wins the Marigot seat, because we believe that he's the best candidate. If you look at the two candidates and you compare their track record, I mean, I mean everything about them. You compare their qualifications, you compare their love for their community and what they have been able to do throughout their lives in their community. I mean, I have been very close to the Marigot scene for a number of years now. I mean, I taught at the St. Andrews High School, and I have a number of great friends in Marigot. So I know Marigot, and I know of Caressa. I mean, all of Dominica knows my relationship with Caressa way back when he sang Ian Douglas, and when we went on stage to perform that song, and in fact won the crown at that time. So I mean, I've always been very close to Marigot, and I'm personally very excited about Sunday. Not only excited for the Dominica Labour Party, but excited for the candidate himself, a winning candidate. And I know that he will continue to serve his country very well at the highest level.
And just to add to that, myself, I've also been very close to the Marigot seat from the days of Terry James, way back when we just fielded a candidate on the slate. You know, I was one of those from the executive of the Labour Party who would consistently go to give the support right through Dayton Baptist and then Dr. Christmas. And of course, Caressa is certainly a very exciting candidate, as you said, and I believe that he will win the seat. Going up against the leader of the opposition, or the leader of the United Workers' Party, is certainly a challenge. And I'm sure that Mr. Linton has his own base in the Marigot seat. The Marigot seat has been traditionally United Workers' Party seat for the past several elections. However, what we've seen in Marigot is a real gravitation towards the Dominica Labour Party, particularly among the youth who are finding, you know, Caressa to be a better candidate than the incumbent. And so, therefore, we are looking forward to really supporting the movement that is taking place in Marigot, and we just want to encourage everyone to be there. We know that Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit will be there, and we'll make certain pronouncements. It is not the announcement of elections, but certainly he will be very happy to speak to the Marigot people about certain development projects in the Marigot area. So it would be very, very important to be there, to listen if you cannot be there, about some of the developments that would take place in Marigot, particularly with the Marigot Hospital and several other areas of development for the people of the Northeast. The international airport, among others, will be discussed at Sunday's luncheon. So therefore we encourage all of Dominica to be tuned in to that special luncheon that we're very, very excited about. Okay, if you have any questions, we didn't intend for this to be very long.
Yeah, I certainly have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Yeah, let me ask the question. I was not the senior for a second. let the younger fellow go first.
That's true.
Mr. Douglas, those who support the United Workers' Party in the Marigot constituency, they are saying that based on what they claim is a neglect of the constituency by the Dominica Labour Party government for the last 10, 15 years. They're claiming because of that, Lennox Linton will be re-elected. How do you respond to that statement by those who support them in the Marigot constituency?
I don't agree with that statement or that sentiment at all. That is very far from the truth. In fact, I believe that it is the lack of representation that the Marigot people have suffered. That is why the impression is being created that the Labour Party has not focused on the Marigot seat. Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to representation at every level. And that is why it's important to ensure that you have the right candidate in every seat. Dominica elections, unlike the US, is not a presidential election. So while we admit in the Labour Party that we have the most popular leader, and he carries a lot of the seats because of the strength of his popularity and the love of the people around Dominica. But at the end of the day, the candidacy is absolutely important. And it is absolutely important for Dominicans and the electorate to understand, even as we go into this election, that your choice of candidate is very important. And so what we have seen in Marigot is as a result of poor candidacy and poor candidate representation. And so that is why we say that we understand and we recognize the potential, the tremendous potential that Marigot holds to contribute to Dominica's development, and that is why we've given them the best candidate that we possibly can. And if you look at the candidates that we have selected around Dominica, the new candidates we've selected around Dominica, you will well understand that a lot of thought went into the selection of our candidates, because we believe a candidate can make or break a seat. And that is what has happened to Marigot. The candidate has broken the seat, and we're giving them a candidate now that can put Marigot back on the right development trajectory that it's supposed to be.
Given take that substantive statement, Labour Party lost the election by over 600 votes in the last poll.
Yeah.
So, what work it is that the Labour Party will have done, given them the confidence that they can ride over the 600 plus votes that they got, that the United Workers' Party got in the last election, and win the seat, and from what you're telling me, by a comfortable margin?
That is a difficult proposition for us. Honorable Ambrose George won the Roseau South seat in the 2009 elections by what it was about 800 or 900 margin, and lost it in the next election. And so we believe that, and what we're talking about, the margins we're speaking about in Marigot is smaller than the margin in Roseau South. So that is why we believe that we will in fact win this seat. We have the correct candidate. We have the candidate that the people love, the people understand, the people know, the people trust, a man who has been there with them. He comes with a great track record of constituency service. He's a national candidate. He's a household name. And I mean, if you stack the two candidates up, it's chalk and cheese. You know, so we are very confident that we're going to win the Marigot seat. You see, we believe that over the years, Dominica's politics has changed from being party-centered to candidate-centered right now. And by and large, what you see is Dominicans really going for persons that they know can actually do the work on the ground and bring about the change that they wish to see in the respective constituencies. So we believe that no constituency right now is beyond our reach. And we honestly think that we can pull a landslide victory. We can win 21 seats, because if we're talking about being confident now that we can win a Marigot seat, then no seat is out of our reach as far as we're concerned.
Traditionally, the Marigot people have always voted for the candidate vis-a-vis the party. Let's Strathmore Stevens.
Absolutely.
What's his name? Pat Stevens, going to Edison James.
Indeed.
Traditionally, they've always voted the candidate. Clarissa, as you say, is a very mindful candidate. He's one of decent substance. Does that add fillip to your confidence? Oh,
absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, I mean, and you have gone through the history, we don't believe that the Marigot seat is a party seat. We believe that the Marigot seat, and if we look and study the history, we can see that the Marigot people have always voted for a candidate. And so we believe that that is why we know that we have the best candidate we could possibly give them. And this is in fact a winning candidate. And it's just fortuitous that he is aligned to the correct party this time around. So we believe that the party and the candidate is the perfect match in the Marigot constituency this time around, and we will win that seat.
I have a lot of other questions, but I guess the members
there's no interest.
I think they're done. Let's move on then to the launching of the other candidates. Are we going, because we have a sort of a stagnated progression where we have weeks and and we understand the reason why Carissa's launching was put back. But are we expected to see an up-tempo, how should I say, launching process going forward? Because no one knows when the elections are going to be called, except of course for the Prime Minister. But give and take that you had almost 3 weeks lapse, almost a month between the last launching and this launching on Sunday. Are we expected to see continued launching campaigns going forward?
Well, the weather has played a very key role in the postponement of the launching so far. But and I can't speak for the leader. He's the one who plans the strategy in collaboration with the campaign manager who couldn't make it here this morning due to flight difficulties, and I apologize for his absence. But it is expected that we will see the launchings in quick succession going forward. I mean, any activity that the Dominican Labour Party has is always, we always come with a lot of energy, a lot of hype, a lot of vigor and vibrance in what we do. And there is no reason to believe that that wouldn't continue and even accelerate in the coming weeks.
From what you know, Mr. Douglas, what would be expected to be some of the major issues to be highlighted for the development of Marigot on Sunday? Obviously, the Prime Minister will have his announcements to make, but as a minister, what would be some of these highlights that you want to talk about on Sunday? Well,
for one, we have the Marigot Hospital, and it's confirmed right now, so we'll be sharing the plans of the new Marigot Hospital with the constituency. Because you know that the international airport is in close proximity, and in fact we should be in a very good position to perhaps break ground early in the next year, and Marigot people will seriously benefit from that. There are a number of pieces of infrastructural development that the Marigot people themselves have said that it is a priority, and we're going to focus on some of those issues. We've also started again with the candidate Carissa to do a number of infrastructural developments in the Marigot constituency, doing a lot of the paving of the roads and stuff, and Of course, the housing, housing all over Dominica. We've done very well post Maria as far as housing development is concerned. So you see a lot of that being addressed on Sunday also. And generally, speaking to the potential that exists in Marigot for continued development, but that will only happen under a Dominica Labour Party government, and even more so under a Dominica Labour Party parliamentary representative.
And we'll also see Caressa himself, Mr. Revere, outlining a number of areas that he would want to address in his address at the launch. And those would have been areas that he would have discussed with the party, with the political leadership, and the Marigot people can have more confidence that Marigot will begin to see a number of developments. And I want to agree with Honorable Douglas that it would have been a lack of representation that would have kept Marigot, not recognizing its true potential. Now the people of Marigot have the opportunity to do so because the Labour Party is well on its way to winning the next elections, and it would be important for the people of Marigot to have themselves have a candidate that is elected and can serve in the cabinet and be able to bring very good development opportunities to them.
I mean, I can't help but remember, as Ed was just speaking, what comes to mind is the various statements by the present parliamentary representative, and he has said to the nation that going to ask or going to speak to the Prime Minister about things for the Marigot constituency, he doesn't go to no fish market, like a fish market going to, and then so those kinds of sentiments tells us the thinking or the thought process of the present parliamentary representative, and that is not likely to change. And so what we are asking the Marigot people is to change your candidate, and because it is clear that the present candidate is not really interested or cares about the development of the Marigot constituency.
The Dominica Labour Party held a rally in Antigua a few Sundays ago. Is that strategy expected to continue going forward?
Well,
moving to some other
yes, absolutely. The Dominica Labour Party believes that all Dominicans have an opportunity to exercise their franchise as long as they're registered to vote. And so it is important for us to reach out to Dominicans wherever they are and to encourage them to come home and to vote. So yes, we will be looking at a few other countries in the Caribbean and of course not just in the region, but beyond. You know that we have had town hall meetings in the United States and other areas, so that is part of our campaign strategy. Yes.
We don't subscribe to the principles of the United Workers' Party as espoused by their leader, vote where you live. We believe you're born in Dominica, no matter where you live at this present time, you continue to be a Dominican and you are entitled to be able to come home and exercise your franchise at will.
Yes.
I know the focus is on Marigot this Sunday because of the launching. But I just wanted to ask, do you have the same level of confidence in the Marigot candidate as you do for Salisbury?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. We believe that what our Salisbury candidate has been able to do is absolutely remarkable. I mean, we don't even have to go very far back. I mean, since Hurricane Maria, he has literally taken the seat. He's really the de facto parliamentary representative in the Salisbury constituency. If you go down to Salisbury now and you speak to anybody in Salisbury across the political spectrum, they'll tell you that our candidate is really the person that has really made things happen in the Salisbury constituency. Nicholas Esprit is in fact way ahead. I mean, there's no comparison, and I can tell you that he will certainly win that seat. I'm telling you, we feel very confident about our candidate in the Salisbury constituency also.
And your views are the same in terms of representation from the current?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's the same. It's the same. And that is why I told you when we started off that winning 21 seats is not far-fetched for us. I mean, in 1980, the Dominica Freedom Party won 17 seats, and there were 2 independent candidates, one in the Pebush constituency and one in the Grand Fork constituency, who in fact gave tacit support to the Freedom Party. So you could, in essence, say that they won 19 seats. The only seats won by the Democratic Labour Party are split from the Patrick John Labour Party at the time was the Portsmouth constituency and the Salive constituency. So, but that's why when we study the electoral results throughout the years, we feel very confident that we could win all 21 seats.
So the government's going back to projects in the Revere constituency. We know of the Revere Hospital project. The leader of the opposition in the last sitting of the House of Assembly challenged parliamentarians, especially in the government side, to indicate from the 400+ page budget that was presented anywhere there where mention was made of the reference was made to the building of the international airport. So it would seem to me that what the leader of the opposition was proposing was that mention should have been made of it. Speak to that issue for us in regards to what's going to be happening. I know the Prime Minister will probably accentuate a lot more on that on Sunday, but yeah. I'm sure you might have it.
No, I mean that is simple. I mean, if you can project to do a project that is not reflected in your current budget, but if things go so well fiscally, really, during the course of the year, and that is why we have things like the supplementary appropriation, that things that you didn't put in the budget, but during the course of the year, things come up and your economic conditions are favorable and you raise the funding. There is no principle that says that because it wasn't reflected in the current budget that it cannot be done in the current year. And so that is has always been, I mean, that's standard since we got into office. That's standard. There are things that have not been reflected in the budget that we have pursued and actually done. So I don't place a lot of credence on the statements of the leader of the opposition. Okay, so if that is it, we want to thank all of you, media houses, for being present with us today. Also, persons who are tuned in live, we want to thank you for your presence here and for listening to us. And we certainly hope and we invite you to Marigot on Sunday. We believe that it's going to be a very big launching, a very spectacular affair. We're going to be launching somebody who, from 2 o'clock in the afternoon, on Sunday afternoon, I believe, the launching is at the fisheries. At the fisheries, at the Marigot Fisheries Complex. And, pardon me? Yeah. The usual traffic arrangements from the constituency level. And check out a lot of the notices and announcements will be out during the course of today and tomorrow, and of course several candidates do their notices or their announcements on Facebook, so you can also look for that. But I can tell you that 2 spontaneous activities have been developing throughout those launchings, and I think you will continue to see more of that. One is the Saturday before launchings, there's always a motorcade in the seats that are in close proximity to the launching. So you will see a motorcade from, say, Kalibishi, Benz, and maybe as far as Portsmouth too, going all the way up the entire north, going all the way up to North-Northeast, going all the way up to Marigot. And I'm sure that the Kalinago territory, the Salibia constituency, will join into that on Saturday. And of course, on Sunday, all of the constituencies of the south will wait for each other and join in and process and motorcade up to Marigot. And of course, the constituencies on the west will also, let's say from St. Joseph, Salisbury, Collie, who will wait for them in Portsmouth on Borough Square. They will join us together with Cottage constituency. Pebush will wait for us at Sus, and Vickers will wait for us at Blenheim, so that we will get into Marigot en masse. Of course, we always ask all of the bus drivers and all of drivers in general, because a lot of persons come with their personal vehicles, to drive safely, because we really want our activities to be incident free. We want people to get to our activities, have a good time with our Labour family, and get back home safe. It's very important for us to stress that our drivers, there's no need to race, there's no need to rush. The roads are in perfect condition thanks to the Dominica Labour Party, and so that is why we believe that you don't have to speed to get to Marigot. If you live anywhere in Dominica at 12:30, you'll get to Marigot by 2. So take your time and drive our people safely, because we think that our people in Dominica, not only in the Labour Party, but in Dominica, our people are our greatest resource, and we want our drivers to take care of them for us, please.
Speaking of road safety, I understand that there's a dam bridge in Marigot, and
yes.
there are a lot more going up that way, especially from the Portsmouth side.
Yeah.
So how do you think it will hold under all of the traffic?
The bridge has been repaired. The bridge has been repaired, and the bridge has been given 21 days, which is the standard for the curing of concrete. So by Sunday, the bridge should be passable. And that is the work of Gregory Revere. That's the work that he continues to do in the Marigot constituency, and that is why we believe that he is the best candidate for the Marigot constituency in the next general elections.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.